Hello, everyone. Welcome back to your favorite podcast. Me and my phenomenal co-host, Chris. We'll talk soccer, apparently. It's a World's game. Nuggets. What are we doing here? Well, Avs talk, Rockies talk, maybe some games. But stay here. We'll be right back.
Yo, welcome to the show. Let me set the scene. Mile High Sports Symposium, living the dream. Broncos in the house with that orange and blue. Nuggets making moves, watch that altitude crew. Avalanche bringing ice, check the skills they display. Rockies swinging bats, ready for on-game play. Rapids in the mix, kicking it with style. Buffs bring the heat, put the rivals on trial. Christian Pulisic, they got the scoop. Mile High vibes, feel that energy rise. Sports on the menu, watch the crowd mesmerize. From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire.
Boom! And like that, we're back like we never left, as the kids say. Mayman Dak, way to come in strong early. Appreciate you. Happy hump day. What's good? It's Wednesday. What is good in your realm of the word, Christopher?
Kids are still on spring break, which has been both fun and challenging. I had to try to instruct them on how to do yard work today, and they were not feeling it. So I'm like, okay, but you still got to help out. So
you got to do the thing. I don't know if you know.
Got to do the thing.
Got to do the thing. How was your Father's Day?
Father's Day was good. A lot going on. Like my wife plays hockey, so she had a game at like 4:00, so we ended up celebrating last night, and we had Mexican food and watched movies and that kind of thing. So it was good.
Nice.
Yours?
Nice. Mine was great. It was low key. My wife said, "What do you want to do other than dinner?" And I said, I just don't want to do anything. And so she trekked the drive to drop off my youngest at camp. And then I asked the kids to chip in. My son mowed the yard, and my daughter did the kitty litter. And so that was great. There's just, hey, knock out a couple chores. Doesn't have to be perfect, just to know that you cared, you tried. Mm-hmm. I had to go fix some things, but it was like, it's just nice. Like, all right, guys. All right. Look at you go.
Look at your functional.
Look at you go. Look at. But it was good, man. It was also my 11th anniversary of being married. We've been together for much longer than that, known each other for much, much longer than that, but have been married for 11 years on Sunday. So happy anniversary, Steph. I guarantee she's not listening.
But happy anniversary, Steph.
But she's the GOAT. So here we are, back at it. With the season's ending, you think like, there wouldn't be any Nugget stuff, Avalanche stuff, because really it's like the Broncos and the NFL, at least in this area, are 365. But really, sports, over the last couple of years, even Major League Baseball had their combine last night, which I watched some of it, which is just
nice.
Pretty cool. But we got a lot to talk about. Let's kick off a little bit with the World's game, football, if Indeed. You will. Last time we were on, the U.S. men's national team had won one game, and we're preparing for a second since then. 2-0 in group play, I think for the first time since like
2010.
a long time ago.
2010.
Which apparently is a pretty big deal.
Yep.
And doing so, correct me if I'm wrong too, only giving up one goal in 2 games.
Correct.
And already sewn up their group play with nothing to play for, but they get their the best player back give me a little rundown on your take on what you've seen from the Americanos, and then just let's dive in a little bit to just how fun this World Cup has been.
Yep. So it's been really good. Like the United States has shown a lot of different things and a lot of different success stories. So Christian Pulisic is going to be back. He missed the game against Australia, which we won 2-0. So a clean sheet for the Americans, which is always a good thing because we tend to struggle defensively. And not having Christian Pulisic, you have to wonder how the U.S. team would come out. Would it still be aggressive? Would be more conservative?
Mm-hmm.
And Mauricio Pochettino's team was certainly still aggressive. Ricardo Pepe filled in for Pulisic, and they grinded out a 2-0 win, which is super important. So we win the group. Pulisic is going to be back for Thursday's game against Turkey, and we have nothing to play for in the Turkey game. So Turkey's already been eliminated. We've already won the group, so it's basically kind of a rest day for the U.S. team. I do not expect to see any of the guys that got yellow cards. So Balogun, Tyler Adams, Chris Richards, those guys will probably be rested because we don't want them getting another yellow card because then they get suspended for the following game, which would be a problem, especially going into the knockout rounds. So I expect to have a little bit more rotated side. I think Pulisic is going to play probably 30 minutes, a half, something like that, just to get him back in the swing of things, and then he'll be sat, and we'll see how we do. So,
what just to maybe not everyone's as dialed into the World Cup as hopefully they will be maybe after, but the field went from 32 to 48. I think that there was some skepticism about whether or not this would dilute the product. In my opinion, I think it's really created a lot more cool stories. And the competition has been, I would say, on par with where it's at. I don't think I've seen more lopsided games than I've seen maybe in the past. What's your take from, the field getting expanded and teams like, Cape Verde, Morocco getting in and, seeing some historic, first ever country goals and all those kind of things? Do you think that the expansion has been good for the game, or do you think it's hindered it a little bit?
No, I think it's been good for the game. Getting these countries in to just get them more visibility is great, not only for the countries but for the players, because some of these players are not well-known players, and so when they get a national stage or an international stage at this point to kind of show what they can do, it breeds more interest, A, into the game, and B, into their clubs, so they can maybe get seen. So I think it's been great. Dreamweaver in the comments, Messi is still the GOAT. That's another cool storyline. He set the now record for the most World Cup goals ever. I think he's at 16 now. So that's a very cool storyline for Messi because he is the GOAT. You've got a couple – I think you've got a couple contenders coming for that crown shortly, though. So Mbappe has looked good, and he plays for France, and Holland, who plays for Norway, is also, I hear, pretty good. So
I heard Ronaldo wasn't liking the criticism, came back with a 2-goal effort.
Yep.
And so, those guys their names are intertwined no matter what, even though I'm a Messi guy. Do you know why Ronaldo doesn't clean his room?
No, why?
Because he ain't Messi.
So there you go.
I'm just saying. My kids are all Ronaldo. I don't know why.
He's pretty.
Messi's even just a better.
Again, Ronaldo's pretty. Let's just call it what it is.
That's
He's
true.
Pretty.
I mean, as a former pretty person myself, I can know what that would have been like.
The burden is real.
It's it's a crown. It's heavy. North there, I think obviously all of us concerned a little bit on the view of America, maybe outside, when you look at it in a political landscape or all those things. That said, it's been super cool to see people from across the globe enjoying American culture, right? Just like, seeing people from the Far East coming and gorging on gross American food and
right.
loving it. And so I think it's been pretty cool. It's been great to just see even for Mexico and Canada, repping out, seeing games in NFL stadiums, seeing the game last Friday in Seattle, which is, built to be loud. So getting NFL loud stadium at with the USA men's national team game, I just thought that was super cool. And then, the hydration breaks. Let's make sure we always mask player safety.
No, it's monetized, not mask. It's monetized. It's monetized.
Fantastic. That's right. We want you guys to be safe while you also watch this commercial for McDonald's.
Right.
Any last points to make as we kind of, all the heavyweights are still in, so no we're big Cinderellas yet, but a fun tournament nonetheless.
Yeah. So we play after the Turkey game. The United States men's national team is going to play in San Francisco July 1st against a third place finisher, whoever that may be. It's one of 15 teams, so could be a lot of different teams. So it's kind of hard to speculate on what happens next. But yeah, again, great tournament. It was really fun to see the pictures of the Scotland fans taking over Little Havana in Miami, because I don't think they were ready for that. So, and it's very funny to see the mix of cultural flavors in a lot of different places. So I think it's just cool in general.
Hopefully, right? It's that's what it's about. The I would hope, right? The point of the game is to really bring out the world, right? It is the world's game, for as much as we want to say the World Series or being world champs in the NBA or NFL. The NBA at least is and Major League Baseball are world-renowned games, but they are American, North American leagues, and this is a cool opportunity for towns like that, or for people across the globe to get to go see it. Yeah, watching the Aussies do their stuff in Seattle is just
very cool,
super cool. So nice job to tell. Hopefully we continue to show out.
Yeah, hopefully we go a little further. So I think we're hoping for the momentum of the international game to take more of a foothold here in the United States. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you'd think at some point we would have got there, but you know what? It's hard because I am raising. All my kids have played soccer, yet my son and that's not a sport necessarily that he's gravitating to more than others, but it's not that he's not. So let's hope the game catches up a little bit. But really quick, we're gonna go ahead and transition a bit. One, go like, subscribe, comment, algorithm stuff. If you aren't following the pod or the network, you should, because that's what good people do. Also, if you celebrated Father's Day, you probably did so with caffeine. Better way to get caffeine than Dubby. Okay, has all the stuff you don't want in there gone. Stuff you do want, good. Go get you some Dubby. You can use our promo code OBN10 for 10% off of your next purchase. Orange and Blue Network 10%, or Boney X 10 because it's 10. And then additionally, got a new sponsor. We have Lily's Beauty Salon in kind of my old neck of the woods up in Thornton. I have lived in Thornton in some previous time. So off of Kearney Way, go check them out if you need beauty. If you're not naturally gifted like me. Or even if you are, you know what? Everyone needs a prop up.
Right, a glow up, as the kids say.
A glow up. That is what they say. All right. So back to maybe a little less fun. Maybe, depending on, I don't know, man. You were a sports admin. You probably dig this stuff. Like, when everyone else hates what you do, your moves that you do, you're like, this is where I shine. It's like it's draft day.
Totally geeking out about it.
The Denver Nuggets. They participated in the draft. They participated. They made it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like
they showed up.
So Nuggets traded out of the first round. by sending a center that, in my opinion, they could have used, athletic big, to San Antonio. They need any more athleticism, right? By getting number 35.
Yeah, so it was
and 2 second-round picks
yeah.
in the future. On top of having, I think, like the 48th pick in the second round, something like that. They got second round's always where you make your bread in the NBA. Nikola Jokic, Jalen Brunson. Anyway, but I think we understand what it is. Once to get some draft capital, probably to attach to some deals, maybe you hope, or it is to reduce your salary cap numbers when you sign guys onto the team. Whatever it may or may not be, we won't know until those picks are used, I think, about how you grade the trade. Was the likelihood that the 26th pick in the draft was going to be a game changer? Nope. That said, it's hard to get younger and more athletic when you don't select people that are younger and athletic. So, Chris, tell me why this is a good move.
Well, so let's set the stage. The Nuggets had the 26th pick. Like you said, it probably was not going to get a game changer there out of the first round. And they were you saw the rumors yesterday where they were floating to try and move the 26th pick. So I think they were looking to move out of the 26th picks regardless. So moving back is not necessarily the worst thing ever. If you don't have a guy you like, then moving back and getting more trade capital is better. Like, I think the worst thing that could have happened last night is we said, all right, we're attaching this 26th pick and Zeke Najee's contract and shipping him to who cares for a future second round pick. I think that would have just been the worst idea. It's always not a great idea to say, okay, we're going to dump salary, and the only way we can do that is by throwing a first round pick along with the salary that we don't want. I think that always ends up with bad feels. So again, you try and do what the Thunder did. So if you're going to attach a deal that you're trying to get out of, it's better to say, here's 2 second round picks rather than a first round pick.
Yep. Now
that said, it's kind of disappointing because you nailed it. It's really hard to get younger, more athletic if you don't start taking these young athletes. Chris Sinak was still on the board last night. He's the Houston big guy that went right after our pick to the Celtics. So he was kind of interesting, but you weren't going to get a game changer necessarily there. I think the biggest thing from the draft last night was it went pretty chalky, and then the Swain pick to Chicago was interesting because it was kind of a reach. So, but again, like it sucks that we don't do anything, but at least we're doing, like, we don't make bad trades. Bad trades are better than, or no trades are better than bad trades, in my opinion.
Yeah. There's a couple picks. Really, the ones that hurt were a couple picks right before the Nuggets win. I think there were some opportunities for the Nuggets to get better. I know that you said it was no story about Kroenke getting upset that the team was clapping. Their team's clapping over nothing.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was he was mad that they were clapping that a deal was made. In the end, what I think is the vibes aren't good. And for me, if the vibes aren't good, right, where he's frustrated that they're clapping at all or whatever that might be, things aren't copacetic. Something didn't work out maybe to the way that they would have wanted. I bet that they were trying to or have been on the hope of making another move. I really was hoping that Cameron Carr, who went at 24, got traded to the Lakers, was a lengthy scorer with, I think, like a 42.5-inch vert. Talk about young and athletic. That seems to fit the bill. But it absolutely is kind of watching everyone else at the pool swim while your team is just kind of sinking. And, I don't know. I'm trying to get out of this mindset a little bit on the doom scrolling kind of method of, well, everyone else is young and athletic. There's no way we can win anymore. And I think, one, there's credence to it because probably out of any of the sports it is really hard to win if you are out athleted in basketball. It just because of the quickness and the elevation that you have to get, right? Baseball, back to ball, really, because it's you versus the ball. It's not the athlete, the size, all that kind of stuff, because it's you versus the ball. It's not you versus the other people. In football, you can mitigate some of those things with concepts and those kind of things. Hockey, I mean, we watched it with the Avalanche, right? The Avalanche were the better athletic team, I would say, skating team, et cetera, all that stuff. Got smashed in the face by the eventual losers in the Stanley Cup. Like that part, anyway. But basketball, that's a hard thing to do. That said, I think I said it last time. Maybe the best or the worst thing happens is that the least athletic team won the NBA Finals. That was probably to a degree, but that matchup, they were not the most athletic team. And I would say I don't even know in some of the other matchups if they were having really good athletes for sure, but in NBA standards, a couple of them. And then you had some miscast. Their best player is me, which is good. And so if the Nuggets are healthy, right, at the beginning of last season, when they were healthy, we didn't think they were too old. Nope. There wasn't, they can't win. We thought we're going to have 2 parades, man. We're going to have 2 parades.
Especially at that first game when Aaron Gordon dropped like 50 or whatever it was.
I mean, it was that why can't, oh my gosh, this is the most talented Nuggets team that we've ever had, probably, or at least definitely in the Jokic era. To 6 months later, this team is a whole bunch of grandpas and they can't play. They all got back issues, all of this stuff. I know a lot of it circles around Aaron Gordon's availability. I think if Aaron Gordon is available, this team is significantly different. He hasn't been. You usually don't get more healthy as you get older. But we are talking about professional athletes who can get world-class training and all that kind of stuff. So I also don't want to crap on it. And so maybe, just maybe, there is an opportunity for this team to be competitive. And I mean, to put themselves in a position to compete at that level, trying to get there a little bit, which is all right, like you said, you don't want to just make a deal to make a deal.
Right.
So you don't, and if you don't think a guy can help, is he better than De'Ron Holmes? If he's not better than De'Ron Holmes, is that a guy you want to take right now? No. And I don't know that. Yeah. Right. So what's something else that makes sense? Can you get a guy at 35 that can contribute as much as a guy at 26? Probably. And so being able to bring it back a little bit, I think I'm able to breathe some life back into it. It just is frustrating because you watch Miami go get Giannis. You watch Atlanta, teams are making moves and doing things. And it's kind of like the Broncos in this offseason, a little bit of come on, we got to keep up with the Joneses. What do you think is the logical next step for this team?
Well, I think
on what and kind of what you would prescribe, maybe.
Well, so I think we have to have a conversation about expectations versus what happened. So I think going into the NBA draft, you're right. We saw Giannis get traded. Jaylen Brown was on the block, and apparently we were interested, although I would question how interested we really were. I mean, we may have picked up the phone and said, hey, would you take Jamal Murray in this first-round pick?
And I think we were interested. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know.
Right. You got to have 2 to tango.
It takes 2 to tango.
It does. So, but again, it's an expectation. It's we might get a young athletic piece. We're going to take this number 1 pick in Julian Strother's contract, and we're going to get in the top 15. That was floated out there, before the draft. And in the end, we just couldn't find that other trade partner to make that happen. So we went from expectations of having, we're going to make a big move to we didn't really do anything. But that doesn't mean it wasn't the smart move. If we couldn't find another trade partner, then okay, trade back and try and pick up some more draft capital, and it gives you more options. So I'm not trying to sugarcoat. I'm trying not to sugarcoat this because you were correct. It's disappointing that they didn't really do anything, and it's disappointing that they don't have a lot of moves to make because they don't have a lot of the bullets. And to comment on Josh Kroenke's, lack of attitude last night. I say it's a nothing burger because he has the power to change things if he wants to change things. If he's unhappy, I don't want to see it on TV. I want you to do it. 2, this is a non-story to me. Like, I don't care. Like, war rooms get upset like every year. So we just happen to see the one moment that Josh Kroenke was unhappy. So, and I don't care that Josh Kroenke's unhappy. He's got the power to change things. So change things if you're unhappy.
I mean, yeah, I don't care that he's unhappy because it's you picked it. You picked this coach. Like the
vibe at this point, Josh Kroenke, the vibes are on you. Like
100%.
If you want to change the vibes, change the vibes. Like you have the power to do that. Stop, pretending that you care and not doing anything if that is truly bothering you. So
you bargain bin executives and
coaches.
You cheated out with coaches. Yep. So that's why I don't think it's nothing, because I think it's like, and then you got it there. You're sitting there with your thing. And if you wanted to change it, you could have. It's not like they made that deal when you're not listening. So,
right.
Anyway, all the things, but
so going forward, like you asked me a question about going forward. So I think we stick and pick at 35 and get a dude that was probably going to help us as much at pick 26 tonight. And if we don't, then I think we're going to take these second round picks and we're going to offload some of these contracts we don't want. Like Zeke Naji is a perfect example. Jonas Valanciunas apparently has a deal to a European team already lined up. So it sounds like we're just going to buy him out. And that's fine. That's, $10-ish million.
$10 million off the books. Yep.
Off the books. So, okay. Again, if we get Zeke Naji's contract off here, okay, that's $18 million. So let's, again, it's about progress. Like we don't have a lot of bullets to fire. So, but the ones we can fire, you might as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And this kind of goes back to, kind of like the Broncos, right? And it was like, why aren't they doing anything? Well, what is there to, like, you have to have two to tango again, right? And so, and we aren't the Wizards or the Nets, this isn't. We finished third in the West.
Yep.
It's like this team is garbage, and so that part is the part of the fandom that I have to back out of, just because I'm pissed about how it ended, right?
Yeah.
Like they mailed it in essentially, and that's culture, that's whatever. It's also like they were probably going to get smacked in the second round because when your guys aren't healthy, when your two best defenders and athletes aren't healthy and playing for you, you're probably not going to go that far.
Yep.
And so I think that when you have Nikola Jokic, I think to say we can't win another championship, I think is lazy. Is it likely? No. But look at Oklahoma City and San Antonio were probably the two best teams in the league this year. They didn't win it. Correct. And San Antonio got gentlemen swept it by by a team that hasn't won a championship in a long time.
My only concern is the fact that I don't want this to become a Giannis situation where Milwaukee just gets comfortable running it back and running it back and running it back and running
100%.
it back. So,
but I would say in their defense, they just made moves that didn't work.
Yeah. It's super unfortunate about Dame getting hurt because I think that may have changed the trajectory, but
100%. That changed the entire thing. And then they're scrambling. You go get what's his face from Indiana. You get Kuzma. You're trying. They're trying to do stuff. It just when your plan A doesn't work and there isn't a rebound there, it's just. But good for them. They were able to make a deal to get out of it. One, I just don't think Nicola's going to want to go anywhere.
That is the one saving grace is the fact that we have a superstar who doesn't care about being a superstar. Like he wants to come here, play basketball, and then go raise horses in the offseason. Yep. Perfect. Yep. Love it.
Yeah. It really is. And when you think about Giannis wants legacy, right? Like good for him. He should. But that's not what drives Nikola. And I think because of that, you have a shot because you also don't need this is the first year that they've had an all-star play next to him. And so, and we've had essentially he's finished the top two in the MVP 6 consecutive years, was just mind-boggling. And so, looking at the who's left list, right? I mean, I think there's plenty of players here that you could get that can provide you with some. There, in my humble estimation, where was my guy at? Let me get to the.
I'll give you one that I was excited about.
Yeah, give me one.
The Vassar kid out of UNC, again, bigger guy, shoots the ball pretty well, can rebound a little bit, plays acceptable defense. Like, he's not the best athlete in the world, but he kind of gives you that, he gives you more options off the bench. So if you're going to lose Valanciunas, I think that's a pretty good pivot to say, okay, he's big, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can play a little bit of defense. I don't know how good defensively he is, but I think he can at least give you minutes off the bench.
Yeah, and there's some guys that I think that are, because if you're trying to look for a day one, 20 minutes a game contributor, one probably after the lottery is just dumb anyway. But for a team like this, they're not bad enough that you're going to get a guy that's going to be better than, right, as currently constructed, Julian Strawther even, right? And so to me, it's like, there are plenty of guys on there that are tweeners or whatever, but they're glue guys, right? They provide what Christian Brown used to provide, that I hope that he kind of gets back to, hopefully with some help and some things like that, since his contract is probably not movable. And so to me, it's why are we not emphasizing that, right? Like, we have guys that can put the ball in the bucket. We don't have guys necessarily that are going to fight tooth and nail through a screen or two screens, or and not that they wouldn't, but that isn't Nikola shouldn't, because he tries to fight through that screen. It's going to take him 10 minutes to get there.
Right.
That's not, foot speed isn't his thing. So you need other guys to be able to do that can, that can do some of the other stuff. And that's why that championship run from yesteryear was so great, because you had a younger Bruce Brown who would do those things, or KCP, even Aaron Gordon, who would kind of fill into those moments. And so but you nailed it. Grade them.
You nailed it. The younger is the important part of 100%. That. We were younger than we are now. So
and now we have to kind of get back. Part is the healthy part, right? Like, it's J.K. Dobbins, right? It is the J.K. Dobbins. When J.K. Dobbins plays football, he is a top 5 running back in the NFL, running the ball. Not catching, but running the ball. Yeah. Yards per carry average in the history of the NFL, he's top 5 yards per carry. But he's played less than 50% of the games in the NFL. So it's a little bit of like, if the Broncos went into without getting Jonah Coleman, why? Like, there's no data to tell you that anything will be different. Freak injuries or not, blah, blah, blah. So now I think the same thing is when Aaron Gordon, right, when this team was healthy, they were a top whatever team. Because I actually think early on they were really good defensively before the injuries mounted. That said, Peyton Watson has never been healthy through a season. Christian Brown has gotten nicked up, I think, the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. Jamal Murray, this is the first time he's through a season.
Actually been healthy,
Yeah, and then Nikola Jokic has got hurt, I think, the last 2 years, and had consistent wrist and elbow injuries. And so, to me, it has more to do with the injury part than the old part. I think 31, 30, like, they're still good athletes, and they're still young enough to do that. The question to me has been, at least for a while, is, and I joked about it a few, why are they not knocking down the Broncos' door and saying, how do we do what you're doing to keep our guys from being hurt or to reduce injury risk? If you're not going to spend money on your front office, or you're spending it on your training program, or like, how is that not a no-brainer? Because that's not a $10 million executive or head coach. That's, a couple $1 million into equipment and all that stuff. So give me here or there, but I think there's other moves. I will grade them again when they get out, but it definitely was disappointing, because you hope. The draft always brings hope, regardless of what sport it is. Mm-hmm. And it was an opportunity that I think they missed on, whether that was futility or they didn't have another trade partner. And you know what? If they didn't have another trade partner, that's a miss, because they couldn't get a deal done. But sometimes, like you said, some of the best deals you make are the ones you don't make. So, speaking of teams making waves-ish, not really. My Colorado Rockies. before last night's game had the same amount of wins as the Boston Red Sox at this point, which just saying. They did lose last night. Rubber match going on right now, which is not going great. 6-3 in favor of the Bostonians. That said, maybe to bring everyone back a little bit. So Mickey Monia came back to the Major League roster. Benny Montgomery, who was I think the number 9 pick in the 2021 draft, just retired at the age of 23 after Riley Pint 2018 high school draft. So just one, not good. And I think we all know that we have botched many a drafts and player development. That is one reason why you got DiPodesto, because of understanding and being able, in my opinion, to build an organization, a developmental organization. That's why you went and got Josh Burns from the Dodgers, et cetera, all this stuff. And so this is a team too that will make deals. So that, not trading Trevor Story or Charlie Blackmon or all of this, all of the loyalty of these guys. One, like Trevor Story was just so interesting because he hated the front office. It's not even like he's going out with a smile. Like, he's pissed. And you wouldn't make a deal to bring you back some prospects and things like that. Thank goodness this isn't that, though. This front office will be one to make some moves. Even though Sensatella is, lifelong Rocky and all the stuff, they didn't draft him. This isn't a regime that invested in anyone really other than, or not anyone really. They haven't made a draft pick. They brought over some guys on 1-year deals, but they haven't made big investments in anyone really. And so I expect this team to be extremely active come the trade deadline. I think they'll have guys to be able to move, because you've got Cole Carrick, who is Drew's favorite. Big shout out to Drew. Cole Carrick, guys like that. Condon is tearing the ball up in AAA. And so I think you have a gluttony of some outfielders who can be pretty productive and really will need somewhere to go. And then you have some pitchers in the relief ranks like Sensatella, et cetera, that, could find their way somewhere else. I'm excited because I think things will happen. And I think that they'll get some value back, even if it's just depth value. You're not going to get, you're not getting potential aces with Sensatella, but could you get potential 3-4 starters or guys that can be power arms in the bullpen? Yep. Which to me is kind of what you need. So the losses keep piling up.
Again, but I think we knew this was going to be a process. Like, we knew this was, I think we were, one of us for sure was drinking the Kool-Aid coming out of spring training in the first month. And that's completely fine. We want to have hope.
First 2 weeks.
Right.
First month,
to start the season. But, we knew this was going to be a process. Like, these guys that they signed for free agency were kind of veteran arms that knew how to get to the 7th, 8th, 9th innings. So, again, we still
and just to teach the younger guys like how you compete at an MLB level. It isn't even, Michael Lorenzen is not on the team because he's dealing. He's on the team because he's a pro. He knows how to take care of his body, right? I mean, he is in some shape and things like that. That's the stuff that they're here for. They're here to bestow on the younger guys. They're not here to contribute. Yet they're finding ways. Like, they are a much grittier team. They blew a save the other night, come back, win 5-2. That is not what the Rockies would have done the last 3 years. They would have beat 1, 8-1, 7-2. And so to me, that's the biggest thing that I take from this season is I do think Warren Schaefer, to me, deserves another run. He's kind of a lame duck this year. He gets it. And I think he's able to get, them winning this many games at this point in time is an overachievement, in my opinion, based on essentially having the same roster as last year. Yeah. You added a couple things here, but nothing that anyone else really wanted. Yeah, you're getting wins at a much more improved pace and just competitive baseball and guys starting to develop. And so I'm excited for that because I think that's maybe a little bit earlier. The draft here coming up in a couple of weeks, I think will really give us a good understanding too about how far away they think the Rockies are. Are you taking a college prospect that ideally is going to be able to hit the major leagues faster, or are you going to take the best player, even if that's a high school kid, which the Rockies have not had a ton of success with early round high schoolers. I think Trevor Story is probably the last. And so
right.
a lot there to digest, but I'm excited about it. I think this will be a really cool deadline. I think DiPodesto, I think he'll want to make his mark. And I think I think we'll see some more deals at this major league end than we've seen probably since 17 or 18, when the Rockies were buyers. And so, which we've been calling for forever is
I hope they don't give up on like
to
some of the younger pieces. Like, I really want Hunter Goodman to be here. Like, I want to build on him. Like, I know he's been thrown in rumors, and as good as Antonio Sensalala has been playing this year, like, I'm very much okay moving him for a piece. Same with Mickey Moniak, but like Hunter Goodman, I'd like to see him here, because I still think he's young enough to kind of develop it and be kind of a foundational piece.
Yeah. I think Hunter Goodman stays. I think Cole Carrick stays. Tovar probably stays, even though he's having a rough year. I think TJ Rumfield is probably your first baseman for the next bit, and then I think everyone around that. The cool part or interesting part is like Jake McCarthy, who's was really kind of started to play like the early prospect that he was. Mickey Moniak used to be the number one overall pick in the draft. But those guys are probably outside the Rockies window, which is kind of cool. They're 27, 28. They're younger still, so I think they have some value in being able to move on from there. You got a guy like Kyle Karros who's starting to really play better. But a guy too, to be honest with you, that Charlie Condon is a better prospect than Kyle Karros, which is cool to be able to say, like, there's going to be guys that are pushing guys that probably could be quality major league players out, because that hasn't been the case for some time. Where, you know what, you got Jackson Holiday, who's probably, is going to make his MLB debut next year. I would bet at some point in time, and once he gets to the league and finds a position, he's not going anywhere with star power. Him and Condon. You got Hunter Goodman and Cole Carrick. I think
you mean Ethan Holiday, right? Ethan Holiday, not Jackson.
No, Jackson. Sorry, Jackson's a Baltimore.
Yeah,
Baltimore Oriole. Bird things. While we were talking, just so we were aware, the Rockies have scored 2 runs, and now only down 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th. I was supposed to be there for a work thing, but my daughter got sick, so I'm not there. But
you're here
anyway, which is just as good for the soul, for sure. Let's move to maybe even a little bit more of a dramatic off-season discussion point. So the Colorado Avalanche, the Ball Arena, it's interesting how their timeline has really kind of merged at the same time. Same ownership group. You got the best player in the world. We're only one championship. What are we doing here? All the same things. But I think, in my opinion, probably much closer to being a championship team than needing a rebuild than the Nuggets. One name that's come up quite a bit now in potential moves, Valeri Nichushkin, who's has come up a bit, which one would make sense, but part of it being a little bit is like that. It's a weird name because he's not young.
He's 31 right now. Yep.
Yeah, and so it's not like Byram, who was a really young asset, or Newhook, or things like that you're really kind of able to sell the youth. And so to trade him out, it'd probably have to be like a contender to a contender deal, a team that has defensive depth and wants to be able to kind of trade there. But one, what are your thoughts about Val's name? Is that a guy that you would be interested in moving? And two, what do you think else comes next for the Avs as we move into their offseason?
Well, so it's an interesting trade rumor to be floated out. I think the Avs are just doing due diligence on kind of what their roster could get in a trade if there are moves to be made. I think it's the right strategy to employ because, like you said, Valeri Nichushkin, and I butchered that, I know. So is 31. He's halfway through his eight-year deal at like $6 million a year. So we're kind of looking to maybe get a little younger there. Natchez is the only one under 27. So again, get a little younger on the front lines. I don't think it's a bad move. See what your players are worth. So, and again, if you end up moving him, that's probably a signal that we're going to re-sign Kel McCarr and then maybe get Jack Drury on since he's a restricted free agent. So, yeah, I think it's the right name to float. He's older. He's still making a ton of money, but he's not. It shouldn't be treated as a fire sale.
Yep. Yeah. For me, I think it's probably maybe even a good time for Val. Get a fresh start a little bit. I think his good years. I don't think he's going to play better hockey. I think we got the best out of him during that cup run, and probably shortly after. I think he was maybe like the most valuable piece, not the best player, but they were a 500 team when he didn't play, and they were almost at like a 750 clip when he did play, which is a significant adjustment.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Guy. But last year and this year, he hasn't really looked like that, and especially this year, he really. I'm trying to think of like impact moments through this year that Val had. And maybe he was hurt or something that we don't know about or some things, but he wasn't a guy, I think, that you come back and say, that's a guy we probably got to keep. Maybe it was just those things aren't going to work. And so I think it's a good opportunity to give someone maybe a grittier frontline guy and potentially maybe getting maybe a higher skilled or high upside bounce back guy, kind of like what the Avs had done in yesteryears. And so that would be something I would like to see, some more defensive versatility, bigger guys on the blue line. But I also think, to be honest, maybe the continuity and the guys being here for as long as they have isn't always just a good thing, especially when I don't think every Val memory that group had was great.
Yeah.
Kudos to him for overcoming and continuing to overcome some significant demons. But sometimes it's like, you love the guy and all the stuff, but it's just like, the energy and like what it took to keep us together and perform at a high rate. We had to expend a lot more to do that because of some of those things. That maybe it's a good time to be able to do that. I also think a message gets sent to the locker room when a guy who has meant what he's meant to this group is traded. I think it signals, hey, we're not okay with being this version of us, even if they don't, fire sale and a whole bunch of moves. So I think it's something to note and to provide, but they're at a place too where it's just, you got to make a smart deal, not just a deal.
Yeah.
How does this make us better, not only this year, but in the next couple of years when you got to re-sign Kale and some things like that are going to be in the forefront? Are you going to have more financial flexibility, maybe not this year, but in a couple of years? And so making sure that there's some strategy when it comes to that. But I don't know that when I've looked at things that I've seen a ton of rumored or highlighted moves that they can make that I felt really excited about. I don't know if there's any that you might.
No, I think the Avalanche are in a good and a dangerous place because, they're going to bring most of their roster back. It's a very high performing roster, which is great, but you don't want to get complacent like you were previously stating. The Athletic put out like kind of an off-season kind of recap of the NHL and kind of broke down every single team. And the Avalanche, again, the good news is they don't have any bad contracts, so which is nice. But the problem is that they also don't have a lot of flexibility because they have all these guys kind of on longer term deals. So like Nichushkin and McKinnon, I think McCarr is available for an extension. So Drury's a restricted free agent, that kind of thing. So I don't expect a whole lot of moves. The JT would be upset at us if we did not mention that the NHL draft is on Friday and Saturday. The Avalanche don't pick until the third round. So again, not a lot of excitement there. So
yeah, they we thought it was uneventful for the Broncos and the draft this year. If you are a hockey fan, it's going to be the same for the Avalanche with less of an exciting payoff because anyone that they draft won't be an Avalanche yet, an Avalanche. I assume that they'll bring back Drury. I think his modest numbers was restricted free agent. I think he probably means more to the team than he might outgoing. And he's not going to sign a deal, I would assume, out there that would fend you off. And if so, good for him.
Get your money.
But I think Brett Kulak would be an interesting bring back. Guys like that.
Yeah, I think the only deal that really interested me was maybe capitalizing on Wedgwood's career year and saying, okay, here's a goalie that can compete at a high level. We're going to go with Blackwood. Blackwood's our guy, and then Wedgwood is traded for something interesting. So
or the other way around.
Yep.
Depending on who would give you what, I think you get more financial flexibility if you keep Wedgie, but they didn't. There was, I think you saw the cracks and maybe what they were worried about in that Vegas round that none of us could really see. It's kind of shocking about why would you not just go all in with Wedgie? He's been dominant and maybe there was something there. I know that you need two goalies during a season, but we saw by them not having an alpha goalie, I think we saw what it kind of did to the team and the narrative around it. Having to be asked a ton about who your goalie is going to be is kind of like having to answer who your quarterback's going to be. I don't know, guys. It's not a question I want to continue to answer, but like you said, they have some good contracts, goalies included, and I think those guys to move if a deal is out there. And even though McFarland is now running the Preds, I mean, Joe Sakic is not a slouch, and was the architect of that. And he was the reason why this Avalanche team won the Stanley Cup in yesteryear, and so and Joe will trust. I have no doubt that he'll make some moves. I've heard at least a few radio personalities, etc., say the word out there is when Joe calls, don't answer, because he is a deal getter. The Super Joe stuff. That nice guy crap apparently works, and he'll get some deals done. So, I'm not excited about the NHL draft. One, because I can't pronounce most names. Two, not really going to be things to help out, but they do need some asset collection because it's hard to make deals when you don't have anything to trade.
Yep.
All right, sir. So as we hit the tail end of our shizzo.
Yep.
How would you like to finish us out?
You want to play a game?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well, this game is called 20-0. You guys have probably
to play a game.
You guys have probably all seen the 82-0, where you're trying to build the best team as humanly possible out of 5. Basketball, this is the football version. So let me see if I can get this going. So, all right, let me got to share the screen.
While you're doing that, the Rockies are tied at 6 with Boston.
That's not true. Stop lying to people.
Just put a 3 spot up in the 7th, so go Rocks.
All right. So I am now sharing my screen. Can you see it?
No, I am.
Okay.
Let me get the comments part, move them a little bit. All right.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. We're gonna play. We're gonna build classic with the stats visible. Maybe a little later we'll do gridiron IQ where stats stay hidden, so we got a no ball. So we're gonna do offense only just because we're at the tail end, so we want to make it a little quicker. So play classic. We're gonna do all teams, prime only. Start the game. Okay, so what happens is we're gonna spin a team and then the era, and then we're gonna be able to pick 6 offensive players: quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight end, and then a flex. All right, we got the LA Chargers in 1999 to 2005. Doug Flutie. Let's do
Doug. Dylan Doug. All right. Well, I think that there are some absolute haftas. I think Antonio Gates. Anytime you have a Hall of Famer, you probably got to lean that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right, spinning again. Seattle.
We probably could have looked a little longer at LT. I'm just saying, but
oh well, you know.
Yeah, you know. I think Sean Alexander is pretty good at football. So is Ricky Waters.
Mm-hmm.
I would go Sean Alexander for our money.
I agree. I think Sean Alexander had at least 1 year where he was the best running back.
He had a couple stretches that won people fantasy leagues.
Agreed. Oh, good. Brandon Ayuk. Let's get him. Driving his car off the team. George Kittle's interesting.
Right. Kittle, but I think we got a tight end. Can you rock the double tight end set?
Yes, absolutely you can. There's a couple flexes there that we can have. I think we're passing on all the quarterbacks.
Yeah. So
Christian McCaffrey.
Go Kittle. Yeah, McCaffrey or Kittle.
McCaffrey at all?
I think I go McCaffrey.
Okay. Let's get McCaffrey.
Let's get McCaffrey. Okay. All right.
Oh, Chargers in the 80s. Daniel Fouts.
Tell me Kellen Winslow's there. Tell me Kellen Winslow's there.
He absolutely is.
Let's ride.
All right.
Let's ride.
That's our last
Danny.
spot.
Sorry, Dan.
Oh, no.
All right. Cam Newton, maybe?
Nope. Rodney Peete.
All right.
Now, we do have rerolls.
Mushi Muhammad?
We do have rerolls, so we can absolutely
probably
reroll
check
this.
that out. We might have to do that. Timmy Bianca Batuka. Let's go. Oh, snap. I mean, Mushi Muhammad is a baller.
I'm going to reroll myself, but that's just me.
Or Steve Smith. Steve Smith.
See there?
Yep. He's the last receiver. If you go.
There he is. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm in on that.
Okay. All right.
And then we'll save it for the quarterback.
Yeah.
Speaking
like this. Right?
Are you telling me you don't want Josh Freeman? What?
Jeff Garcia.
State's finest.
Jeff Garcia, by the way, everything I heard, a-hole. Absolute a-hole. Dang it, work done. Okay, we could have done something with that. Really, because we only need – where are we at? Just quarterback, huh? Yep. Nope. Yep. Okay.
All right. Reroll it is.
All right. Ernest.
Be kind. Oh, no. Your favorite and mine.
Let's go, Jay. Let's go, Jay.
Fire
up that SIG. I'm telling you, man, though, if there's a guy that could get Kellen Winslow to, he'd get it there. Okay. Yep. So 18-2, though? Dang. All right.
Not bad.
Overall, 97? That's not.
Held us back.
What do you think?
I think it's good. Maybe if we'd taken Dan Fouts here, would have been able to get another flex, but I still love Kellen Winslow.
You want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
Let's get one more.
Okay,
one more. One more for the kids.
Cincinnati. Boomer Esiason, love you.
Oh my gosh. Chris Collinsworth? Holy crap. Did we already land
Eddie Brown, maybe?
Icky?
These guys were Ken Anderson's not bad.
Ken Anderson was a baller, yeah.
Not bad.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna go with the UNLV's finest.
Yeah. Let's shuffle, baby. Let's shuffle.
Yeah. All right. LA Rams. Nice.
Early 80s.
Eric
Dickerson. Easy peasy.
Henry
Ellard, though, was a baller.
Yeah, don't forget.
Yeah.
Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
So
it's a shame.
We'll take Eric Dickerson.
I heard he's pretty good.
Oh
okay.
My God.
Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins. Marvin Harris Jr. AJ Green. But we're picking it for this time frame, right?
Yeah, this is his stats.
This version of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Trey McBride.
Ooh, Trey McBride. I do like that.
I think that's
ours.
Yeah. Yeah, look at 126 catches. Let's go for more than
Charges.
The Charges. Do we not mess around and take a quarterback this time?
I like messing around, but
I mean, I do too. I mean, a little bit.
Northern Colorado's finest.
Hey, hold
Hey.
on for the home.
Antonio Gates, though.
Antonio Gates is the GOAT. Yeah. I don't know if I really want Philip Rivers to be my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we get a reroll, especially if we get a reroll. Yeah, let's do it.
Take Gates.
Let's
okay.
do it. Yeah.
Come on. All right. Rams.
All right.
Mark Bulger. Oh, we got Isaac Bruce.
We got
Torrey
Torrey
Holt.
Holt or Isaac Bruce.
I am. Yeah.
Or Steven Jackson.
It's filled. So we could have had Steven Jackson. I think Torrey Holt's are.
I think
again deserves to be in the Hall of Fame and is not yet, and I don't understand why.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, last spin. Detroit. We got the Matthew Stafford, right?
Yeah. Easy. Let's go.
Okay, Matthew Stafford.
Matty.
Let's see what we got. Oh,
okay.
Still held us back.
I think Icky Woods brought us back to the back.
Yeah. I think maybe Antonio Gates too in our last flex may have hurt us. But
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
You know what, kids? Sometimes you just gotta like life. And
right.
I appreciate you all more than Chris does. He tells me actually.
Absolutely.
No, we are grateful. Thanks for hanging out with us for a bit. We will be back next week. Hopefully JT will, if any of you can, if you can go ahead and reach out to him on Twitter at JT Matthews01 on the Twitter and offer him some computer advice. My man needs it. It's 2026 and he still doesn't know how to control Alt-Delete. And so with that,
he's got a hand crank on his Dell. It's weird.
He does. He has like pedal underneath for the power to go. But for Chris and JT, I am Nicholas Manning. We are the Mile High Sports Symposium. We're going to sign out. Hope you all have a really great week. And if you need a script, let me know.
From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire. So grab your crew, let's hit the show. My High Sports Symposium, let the good times flow.